What is good, people in the chat? It's your boy, Bobbalam, and yes, I know no face cam once again, but as I said before, I am at home for the holidays, so stay tuned until I get back to Miami. However, in today's video, what we're talking about is Lil Tecca's upcoming industry plan. Well, he doesn't just have one, and all these underground artists really are kind of industry plants, so don't take it too hard. And plus, just quick disclaimer, I really do not care if an artist is an industry plant, because frankly, every single rapper nowadays is most likely in some capacity an industry plant, or at least 80 to 90% of them had help before they got an actual organic following. These labels just found out that, you know, their music is hard, and hey, we can profit off of them by giving them a fan base because they haven't really monetized their music just yet, and then we'll take a cut of that. That's how the whole music industry works in just like a brief summary. But if you don't know what an industry plant is, because I know some of y'all are a little bit slow, the term industry plant is a musical term derived colloquially from hip-hop, which is understood to mean an artist who has a major or indie label backing their movement but presents themselves as a homegrown startup to create the illusion of an organic following. So essentially, somebody who looks like they blew up all on their own and they act like they did, but they really got like a machine behind them pumping in thousands. And it almost seems too good to be true because they have like only one song or one album out, yet it sounds like it's straight up Juice WRLD quality, which kind of alludes to what we're talking about today. So there is this new artist named Token V Lone, and I actually messed with this artist. He sounds really good, but the first time I heard this artist was from an Our Generation Music advertisement or sponsorship on their Instagram page. And if you don't know who Our Generation is, they've got hundreds of thousands of followers on their Instagram. They do interviews for a lot of underground artists as well. So they're just like a hub for artists who are trying to come up, and they sell advertisements and sponsorships. In fact, for artists, I have literally been like the middleman buying an ad on their page for the artist so that they can increase their following organically, or technically not, because whenever you pay for marketing, it's not organic. But regardless, at the time of this recording, Token V Lone currently has 24,000 followers on Instagram at least, whereas the first time I saw him, I think he only had like 10,000 followers. And as I mentioned before, it was posted by Our Generation Music. Scratch that, actually the first time I heard this dude was from a 19th post in a very similar fashion to Our Generation, but then I just kept seeing his name on all of the media outlets such as Kuda Media, Damas Live probably being the largest outlet that they posted on, Icy Rap among others, and it all had the same headline: is 18-year-old Token V Lone the next big thing, or is this the next biggest artist out of Chicago? It all had like a similar format with like the big text over top his picture. So if you just go through the tagged photos on his Instagram page, you can tell that all of these were quote planted. And now, as I mentioned before, he's grown approximately 14,000 followers from the very first post that I was introduced to him, and I can't find any specific data because Social Blade isn't giving it to me, and neither is IG Blade, which are my typical sources. But what I do have is his Social Blade for his YouTube channel, by which, as you can see, he's only getting actually less than 100 views on his channel, not subscribers, views on his channel on a daily basis, which is fine. He's just like a new artist. Also, I feel like he took down a lot of his previous songs that he released before signing to a management deal or with Lil Tecca. And then when they dropped their first release called Breathe, the music video that all of these Instagram pages that we just discussed were all promoting, he started getting thousands of views, most likely also utilizing YouTube ads, because that is a great way to grow on YouTube. But with that being said, it is also a very expensive marketing mechanism. So yet another piece of evidence that he has label backing him, or management that is, which is essentially the same thing if you ask me. But as for the proof that Token V Lone is backed by Lil Tecca, is that if you go to his Instagram bio, they lay all the evidence out for us. So I guess it's just not a secret. Props to them for that, because usually industry plants like to keep the truth of their come up from the general public. But his management is Jeezy A, aka Giuseppe, who is Lil Tecca's manager and also, I guess, the main A&R for Lil Tecca's label called Galactic. And if you go through some of the tagged photos of Token V Lone and Giuseppe and Galactic, it'll have tagged posts from months ago with Baby Santana and Lil Tecca all together. Keep in mind, Baby Santana is signed to Lil Tecca, if you didn't already know, meaning that they have likely been configuring this whole marketing campaign for the right time, which I guess is just now, when the underground is kind of in a slump right now, if you ask me, and a very opportunistic time for a new upcoming rapper to explode out of nowhere, especially with a very Juice WRLD-esque type sound. And of course, Juice WRLD isn't necessarily here to carry that sound forward because he passed away. Rest in peace. Now, one of the last and probably strongest pieces of evidence that show that Token V Lone is backed by industry connections is that if we go to Breathe and some of the other songs on his album that he just released, we can check the production credits available on Genius, by which Breathe was produced by OK Teen and Carlton McDowell. And OK Teen is a known producer for countless Juice WRLD songs, including Buck 50 that was actually on DJ Scheme's album, but a lot of other leaks. Keep in mind, we were just relating Token V Lone to Juice WRLD sound. And as for Carlton McDowell, has also produced for Juice WRLD, as well as one of the most recent songs by Roddy Ricch, Live Life Fast, on his last album. And so with such prominent producers, it definitely costs a check or some sort of connection with these types of people who are already in the industry and that an independent artist could not really afford. And so not only are all these Instagram posts all of a sudden in the same format, kind of suspicious about this artist come up, but also some of the songs before he actually released Breathe, which is the single that they've been promoting heavily. He's got a song with Dro Kenji, which is a signed artist, and of course all of the connections with Lil Tecca, Jeezy A big manager in the industry, as well as the prominent producers for Juice WRLD. Now, with all this being said, I just want to make it clear, this is a pretty common marketing campaign for upcoming artists. In fact, literally all pretty much of the artists that you listen to, if you're listening to the underground, I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to expose too many people out here, but pretty much all these underground artists have utilized, or their label that is, industry plant tactics, because ultimately that's what they're here for. They're here to put gas on the fire. They see somebody who has, good music or music that has potential that they can help by getting them in the studio with fire producers, as well as paying major media outlets to give them a bigger look than they already have right now, as well as pumping in like YouTube ads and Spotify playlist placements so that they can blow up the artist to a bigger following and monthly listenership than they had before, and then they take a large cut of that. It's just the music business, baby. And actually, before social media, it was way more apparent, because nowadays you actually have an opportunity, if you're skilled with producing different content and just marketing in general, to blow up on your own and remain independent for your entire career. I mean, check out what XXXTentacion did. Now, he did sign later on. However, for a lot of his career, he was actually independent and leveraged his own following and branding and cult. Whereas before social media was created, there was relatively no outlet for an independent artist to be able to make it on their own without signing a record deal. So now the artists kind of have more leverage than they did before, although still most of the time with, I guess, a very diluted and saturated music market, it does help a lot for artists to sign to these labels that actually know the whole process and has become automatic at this point. I mean, look how clean and swiftly they helped blow up Token V Lone, just with a few Instagram ad placements and getting them in the studio with people who know how to make good music. So ultimately, all it really takes is money and connections with talented people. At least we know the numbers are real though, because they're putting hard-earned money into their career rather than just inflating their numbers, making it look super fake. And so with that, It's your boy Bobbalam signing off. About to go outside into my green room and start watering some of my industry plants that y'all haven't heard of just yet because we still in the stew. They haven't bloomed yet. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this, who you think might be an industry plant out of some of the newer artists that we have started to listen to in the past couple of years. Because I feel like this industry plant conversation has kind of died down a bit. Likely because everybody is one to some degree. Make sure to like and subscribe to join the Bob Gang if you with it. Peace out, cloud people. Nice soon.